Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Syrian's review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. This is a game I've actually never owned before. I got it from my friend last weekend. It's from West End Games. It's Perry Moore's Operation BADR, the Syrian assault in the Golan, October 1973. This is interesting because, like I said, I've never had this, and this sounds like an interesting topic. So there's nothing on the back, but that could mean that when it was shrink wrapped, it had a piece of paper here describing the game, and that was just lost. A lot of games from back in the day were like that. Let's see what's in here. It says it's a game of Arab-Israeli military conflict. This has been played and stuff, so this is a player's copy. Let's look at the map before we do anything. It's a paper map, which is okay. Some people prefer the paper maps because they like to put them underneath plexiglass, and they actually find that easier to work with than a mounted map. I prefer mounted maps, but I don't mind paper. Map's pretty simple, but it looks like it's got quite a few terrain features. It's got a terrain key over here, and a turn record track down here. I'm sure it's functional though. Let's see what year this game was made. Rulebook's got a date on it. Oh, 1983. So actually for 1983 that map's not bad. We'll go to the rulebook last. Look at some of the counters. Some of them have been punched out. They're just standard military symbols, which is pretty much what I would expect from that time period. I mean, they're simple counters, but I'm sure they're functional. Not the thickest, but functional. Let's see what else is in here. Got a Syrian Air Force display chart and an Israeli Air Force display chart. It's got a bombardment table, anti-aircraft fire tables, combat results table, and then the other one has the same for the Israelis. Israeli bombardment, Israeli anti-aircraft, and Israeli combat results. It's got the Syrian order of battle written here and the Israeli order of battle written here, and they're just single-sided, which is fine. And there's a counter here, tray here with the rest of the counters. I don't know if the counter tray came with the game or not, or if my friend just added it to it. So let's see the rule book now. It's not too thick, which is good. 12 pages, that's not bad. This should be easy to learn, provided the rules are written in a coherent fashion. So it looks like it has an introduction here, which introduces you to this conflict. And then the game components, there's map board counters, as we saw, the rule booklet, charts, and miscellaneous. Oh, it does include a plastic counter tray and one dice. Looks like it's missing the dice, but that's okay. I got like a lot of dice at home I can replace it with. It's got a glossary of terms. Here's the sequence of play. That's what we're really interested in. Air unit assignment. That's for both players. And then Syrian air bombardment, followed by Syrian artillery. Looks like Syrians have initiative in this. Syrian combat and Syrian combat unit movement, followed by Israeli air bombardment, Israeli artillery bombardment, and Israeli combat unit movement and Israeli headquarters movement, and then Israeli combat and Israeli second movement. Interesting. Curious that headquarters have a different movement phase than the regular Israeli units. All right, and there's an opening pre-turn. Now it's going over movement rules. It looks like there's anti-tank ditches and roads, bridges, boundary lines, retreats, displacement, and stacking they're talking about here. So stacking is allowed, and it looks like it's got some special rules. And it's going over zones of control. Looks like Israeli's step reduction must be different than Syrian step reduction if they have that there. I'll have to read it further later, but this is just to give you a general idea of what's in the book. And here's Israeli opportunity of fire. It's going over artillery, engineers, fortifications, defensive moves, headquarters, air power. And air bombardment, interdiction, air superiority, anti-aircraft fire, supply. And so it's actually 8 pages of rules, and then after page 8 is the optional rules and the scenarios. So it's actually a small rule set. This should be fairly easy to learn. Optional rules, you have dismounted Syrian infantry, Syrian frog attacks, oh, frog 7 missiles. I wonder, I'm trying to remember what those are. I think those are battlefield missiles. I think those are those huge missiles. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to have to look that up on Google later. Syrian 82nd Commandos, Syrian Halt, Israeli unit breakthroughs, and standing fast. Let's go to the scenarios. The first one is Syrian offensive. And then there's the assault across the purple line, breakthrough to the Jordan, counterattack, and campaign for the Golan. That's nice. There's 6 scenarios. And it's got victory conditions here, and looks like victory conditions are based on points. And you get points for destroying different types of units that are worth different types of points. Okay. Oh, and there's also points for capturing objectives here, and here's some counter errata, and they have a terrain effects table on the back here. Cool. Just wanted to show you guys this game. Like I said, I've never had it. This is the first time I had a copy, so it must be fairly rare then. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please click like on it, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel, and as always, have a good evening.